How can one have a field of cloth of gold inspired festival without having Henry VIII? So Hal and I have been companions throughout lockdown. Seriously, however, this has been one of the ones I've enjoyed concocting most, together with Laura Wright from Brasenose and supported by Torch, and of course with Creation Theatre. I hope you enjoy our 1-hour adaptation of Shakespeare's Henry VIII. Thank you.
I come no more to make you laugh. Things now that bear a weighty and a serious brow, sad, high and working, full of state and woe, such noble scenes as draw the eye to flow, we now present. Those that can pity, hear me, if they think it well, let fall a tear. The subject will deserve it. Such as give their money out of hope they may believe, may here find truth too. Those that come to see only a show or two, and so agree the play may pass, if they be still and willing, I'll undertake will see away their shilling richly in 2 short hours. Only they that come to hear a merry bawdy play, a noise of targets, or to see a fellow in a long motley coat guarded with yellow, will be deceived. For gentle hearers know, to rank our chosen truth with such a show as fool and fight is, beside forfeiting our own brains and the opinion that we bring, to make that only true we now intend, will leave us never an understanding friend. Therefore, for goodness sake, and as you are known the first and happiest hearers of the town, be sad as we would make ye. Think ye see the very persons of our noble story as they were living. Think you see them great, and followed with the general throng and sweat of 1,000 friends. Then in a moment, see how soon this mightiness meets misery. And if you can be merry then, I'll say, a man may weep upon his wedding day.
My life itself and the best heart of it thanks you for this great day. I stood in the level of a full-charged confederacy and give thanks to you that choked it. Let me call before us that gentleman of Buckingham's. In person, I'll hear him confessions justify, and point by point the treasons of his master he shall again relate.
Nay, we must longer kneel. I am a suitor.
Arise, and take place by us. Half your suit never named to us, you have half our power. Repeat your will and take it.
Thank you, your majesty. That you would love yourself, and in that love not unconsidered, leave your honour nor the dignity of your office is the point of my petition.
Lady mine, proceed.
I am solicited, not by a few, and those of true condition, that your subjects are in great grievance. There have been commissions sent down among them, which have flawed the heart of all their loyalties, wherein, although, my good Lord Cardinal, they vent reproaches most bitterly on you as putter on of these exactions, yet the king, our master, whose honour heaven shield from soil, even he escapes not language unmannerly, Yea, such which breaks the size of loyalty and almost appears in loud rebellion.
Taxation? Wherein? And what taxation? My Lord Cardinal, you that are blamed for it alike with us, know you of this taxation?
I know, but of a single part in aught pertains to the state, and front but in that file, where others tell steps with me.
No, my lord. You know no more than others, but you frame things that are known alike, which are not wholesome to those which would not know them, and yet must perforce be their acquaintance. These exactions whereof my sovereign would have note, they are most pestilent to the hearing, and to bear 'em, the back is sacrificed to the load. They say they are devised by you, or else you suffer too hard an exclamation.
By my life, this is against our pleasure.
And for me, I have no further gone in this than by a single voice, and that not past me, but by learned approbation of the judges. If I am traduced by ignorant tongues, which neither know my faculties nor person, yet will be the chronicles of my doing. And let me say 'tis but the fate of place, and the rough break that virtue must go through. We must not stint our necessary actions in the fear to cope malicious censurers, which ever, as ravenous fishes, do a vessel follow that is new trimmed, but benefit no further than vainly longing. In what we oft do best, by sick interpreters or weak ones, is not ours or not allowed. What worst, as oft, hitting a grosser quality, is cried up for our best act. If we shall stand still in fear, our motion will be mocked or carped at. We should take root here where we sit, or sit state statues only.
Things done well and with care exempt themselves from fear. Things done without example in their issue are to be feared. Have you a precedent of this commission? I believe not any. We must not rend our subjects from our laws and stick them in our will. 6th part tax of each, a trembling contribution. Why we take from every tree lop, bark and part of the timber, and though we leave it with the root, thus hack the air will drink the sap. To every county where this is questioned, send letters with free pardon to each man that has denied the force of this commission. Pray look to it. I put it to your care.
Let there be letters writ to every shire of the King's grace and pardon. The grieved commons hardly conceive of me. Let it be noised that through our intercession this revokement of pardon comes. I shall anon advise you in the proceeding. You're welcome, my fair guest. The noble lady or gentleman that is not really merry, not my friend. This to confirm my welcome and to you all good health. Lady, you are not merry. Gentlemen, whose fault is this?
You are a merry gamester, my lord.
Yes, if I make my play. Here's to your ladyship, and pledge it, madam, for 'tis to such a thing. Oh, what's that? What warlike voice, and to what end is this? Nay, ladies, fear not. By all the laws of war, your privilege. Now, what is?
A noble troop of strangers, so they seem. They've left their barge and landed, and hither make as great ambassadors from foreign
Go give them welcome. You speak the French, and pray receive them nobly and conduct them into our presence where this heaven of beauty shall shine and full upon them. You have now a broken banquet, but we'll make it a good digestion to you all, and once more I shower a welcome on you. Welcome all. A newborn company. What are their pleasures?
because they speak no English. Thus they prayed to tell your grace that, having heard by fame of this so noble and so fair assembly, night here, they could do no less, out of the great respect they bear to you, but leave their flocks, and under your fair conduct, crave leave to view the ladies, and entreat an hour of revel to them.
Say, Lady Vlll, they have done my poor house grace, for which I pay 1,000 thanks, and pray 'em take their pleasure.
I ever touched. More beautiful. Till now I never knew.
My lady.
Your Grace?
Pray tell 'em this much from me. There should be one amongst them by his person more worthy this grace than myself, to whom, if I but knew him with my love and duty, I would surrender.
Oh, I will, my lord.
Well, what say they?
Such a one they all confess there is indeed, which they would have your Grace find out, and he will take it.
Let me see then. Aha! By all your good leave, I'll make my royal choice.
Ye have found him, Cardinal. You hold a fair assembly, you do well, Lord. You are a churchman, or I'll tell you, Cardinal, you judge now unhappily.
Well, I am glad your grace has grown so pleasant.
My Lord Cardinal, what fair lady is that?
And she's your grace, Sir Thomas Boleyn's daughter, the Viscount Rochefort, one of her highness women.
By heaven, she is a dainty one. Sweetheart, I were unmanly to take you out and not kiss you. A health, gentlemen! Let it go round!
Your grace, I fear with dancing is a little heated.
I fear too much.
Well, there's fresher air, my lord, in the next chamber.
Leading your ladies, everyone. Sweet partner, I must not yet forsake you. Let's be merry. Good, my Lord Cardinal, I have half a dozen healths to drink to these fair ladies, and a measure to lead them on once again. And then let's dream who's the best in future. Let the music knock it!
not for that neither. Here's the pang that pinches. His Highness having lived so long with her, and she so good a lady that no tongue could ever pronounce dishonour of her. By my life, she never knew harm doing. Oh, now, after so many courses of the sun enthroned, still growing in majesty and pomp, the which to leave 1,000-fold more bitter than 'tis sweet at first to acquire. After this process, to give her the avaunt, it is a pity would move a monster. Oh, God's will. Much better she ne'er had be temporal, yet if that quarrel and fortune do divorce it from the bearer, oh, 'tis a sufferance panging as soul and body severing. So much the more must pity drop upon her. I swear, 'tis better to be lowly born and range with humble livers in content, than to be perked up in a glistering grief and wear a golden sorrow. By my troth and maidenhead, I would not be a queen. No, not for all the riches under heaven.
Good morrow, lady. What were it worth to know the secret of your conference?
My good lord, not your demand, it values not your asking. Our mistress's sorrows we were pitying.
It was a gentle business and becoming the action of good women. There is hope, all will be well.
Now I pray, God, amen.
You bear a gentle mind, and heavenly blessings follow such creatures, that you may, fair lady, perceive I speak sincerely, and high notes taken of your many virtues. The King's Majesty commends his good opinion of you, and does purpose honour to you no less flowing than Marchioness of Pembroke, to which title £1,000 a year annual support out of his grace, he adds.
I do not know what kind of obedience I should tender. More than my all is nothing, nor my prayers are not words duly hallowed, nor my wishes. Yet prayers and wishes are all I can return. Beseech your lordship vouchsafe to speak my thanks and my obedience, as from a whose health and royalty I pray for.
Lady, I shall not fail to approve the fair conceit the king hath of you. I have perused her well. Beauty and honour in her so mingled that they have caught the king. And yet, who knows yet but from this lady may proceed a gem to lighten all this isle. I'll to the king and say I spoke with you.
My honoured lord,
Whilst our commission from Rome is read, let silence be commanded.
What's the need? It hath already publicly been read, and on all sides the authority allowed. You may then spare the time.
Be it so. Proceed.
Sir, I desire you do me right and justice, and to bestow your pity on me, for I am a most poor woman and a stranger born out of your dominions. Alas, sir, in what have I offended you? What cause have my behaviour given to your displeasure, that thus you should proceed to put me off and take your good grace from me? Oh, heaven witness, I have been to you a true and humble wife, at all times to your will conformable, even in fear to kindle your dislike, yea, subject to your countenance, glad or sorry as I saw it inclined. When was the hour that I ever contradicted your desire, or made it not mine too? Or which of your friends have I not strove to love, even though I knew he were mine enemy? Oh, sir, call to mind that I have been your wife in this obedience upward of 20 years, and have been blessed by many children by you. If in the course and process of this time you can report and prove it too, my bond to wedlock, and prove it too against mine honour aught, my bond to wedlock, or my love and duty against your sacred person, then in God's name turn me away, and let the foulest contempt shut door upon me, and so give me up to the sharpest kind of justice. Ferdinand, my father, King of Spain, was reckoned one of the wisest there had reigned by many a year before. Wherefore I humbly beseech you, sir, to spare me till I may be by my friends in Spain advised, whose counsel I will implore, if not in the name of God, your pleasure be fulfilled.
You have here, lady, and of your choice, these reverend fathers, men of singular integrity and learning, yea, the elect of the land, who are assembled to plead your cause. It shall be therefore bootless that longer you desire the court, as well for your own quiet as to rectify what is unsettled in the king.
Lord Cardinal, to you I speak.
Your pleasure, madam.
Sir, I am about to weep, but thinking that we are a queen, or long have dreamed so, certain the daughter of a king, my drops of tears I'll turn to sparks of fire.
No, be patient yet.
I will, when you are humble, nay, before, or God will punish me. I do believe, induced by potent circumstances, that you are mine enemy, and make my challenge, you shall not be my judge. For it is you have blown this coal betwixt my lord and me, which God's due quench.
No, madam, you do me wrong. I have no spleen against you, nor injustice for you or any. How far I have proceeded, or how further shall, is warranted by a commission from the consistory, yea, the whole consistory of Rome. You charge me that I have blown this coal? I do deny it. The king is present. If it be known to him that I gainsay my deed, how may he wound and worthily my falsehood, yea, as much as you have done my truth? If he know that I am free of your report, he knows I'm not of your wrong. Therefore, in him it lies to cure me, and the cure is to remove these thoughts from you, the which before his highness shall speak in. I do beseech you, gracious madam, to unthink your speaking, and to say so no more.
My lord, I am a simple woman. much too weak to oppose your cunning. You're meek and humble-mouthed. You sign your place and calling in full seeming with meekness and humility. But your heart is crammed with arrogancy, spleen, and pride. You have, by fortune and by his highness's favours, gone slightly o'er lower steps, and are now mounted where powers are your retainers, and your words, domestics to you, serve your will as it please yourself pronounce their office. I must tell you, you tender more your person's honour than your high profession spiritual. That again, I do refuse you for my judge, and here, before you all, appeal unto the Pope to bring my whole cause for his holiness, and to be judged by him.
The Queen is obstinate, stubborn to justice, apt to accuse it, and disdainful to be tried by it. 'Tis not well.
Call her again.
Madam, you are called back.
What need you note it? Pray you keep your way. When you are called, return. Now the Lord help! Oh, they vex me past my patience. Pray you, pass on. I will not tarry, no, nor nevermore upon this business my appearance make in any of their courts.
My most gracious sir, in humblest manner I require, your highness, that it shall please you to declare in hearing of all these ears, for where I am robbed and bound, there must I be unloosed. Whether ever I did breach this business to your highness, or laid any scruple in your way which might induce you to the question on't, or ever have to you but with thanks to God for such a royal lady. Speak one, the least word that might be to the prejudice of her present state, or touch of her good person.
My Lord Cardinal, I do excuse you. Yea, upon mine honour, I free you from it. As it came, give heed to it. My conscience first received tenderness, a scruple and prick on certain speeches uttered by the Bishop of Bayonne, then the French ambassador, who had been hither sent on the debating a marriage twixt the Duke of New Orleans and our daughter Mary. In the progress of this business, a determinate resolution, he did require a respite, where he might the king his lord advertise whether our daughter were legitimate, respecting this our marriage with a dowager, sometimes our brother's wife. This respite shook the bosom of my conscience, entered me, yea, with a splitting power. First, methought I stood not in the smile of heaven, who had commanded nature that my lady's womb, if it conceived a male child by me, should do no more office of life to it than a grave does to the dead. For her male issue either died where they were made, or shortly after this world had aired them. Hence I took a thought. This was a judgment on me, that my kingdom, well worthy the best heir of the world, should not be gladded into by me. Thus hewling in the wild sea of my conscience, I did steer towards this remedy, whereupon we are now present here together. For no dislike in the world against the person of the good queen, but the sharp, thorny points of my alleged reasons drive this forward. Prove but our marriage lawful by my life and kingly dignity. We are contented to wear our mortal state to come with her, Katherine, our queen, before the primest creature that's paragoned all the world. Go thy ways, Kate. That man in the world who shall report he has a better wife, let him not be trusted.
So please, your highness. The Queen being absent, 'tis a needful fitness that we adjourn the court to a further day. Meanwhile, must be an earnest motion made to the Queen to call back her appeal she intends unto his holiness.
I perceive this cardinal trifle with me. I abhor this dilatory sloth and tricks of Rome. My learned and well-beloved servant Cranmer, prithee return. With thy approach I know my comfort comes along. Break up the court, I say, get on.
The Cardinal's letters to the Pope miscarried and came to the eye of the King, wherein was read how that the Cardinal did not entreat his Holiness to stay the judgment of the divorce. For, if it did take place, I do, quoth he, perceive my King is tangled in affection to a creature of the Queen's, Lady Anne Boleyn.
What piles of wealth hath he accumulated? To his own portion. And what expense by the hour seems to flow from him? How in the name of thrift does he rake this together? Now, my lady, saw you the Cardinal?
My lord, I have stood here observing him. Some strange commotion is in his brain. He bites his lip and starts, stops on a sudden, looks upon the ground, then lays his finger on his temple, straight springs out into fast gait, then stops again, strikes his breast hard, and anon he casts his eye against the moon. In most strange postures we have seen him set himself.
It may well be. There is a mutiny in his mind. This morning papers of state he sent me to peruse, as I required, and what I found there, on my conscience put unwittingly. Forsooth an inventory, thus importing the several parcels of his plate, his treasure, rich stuffs and ornaments of household, which I find at such a proud rate that it outspeaks possession of a subject.
It's heaven's will. Some spirit put this paper in the packet to bless your eye withal.
Heaven forgive me. Ever God bless your highness.
Good, my lord. You are full of heavenly stuff and bear the inventory of your best graces in your mind, the which you were now running over. You have scarce time to steal from spiritual leisure a brief span to keep your earthly audit.
Well, sir, for holy offices I have a time to think upon the parts of the business which I bear in the state, and nature does require her times of preservation, which perforce I, her frail son amongst my brethren mortal, must give my tendance to.
You have said well.
And ever may your highness yoke together, as I will lend you cause, my doing well with my well saying.
'Tis well said again. And 'tis a kind of good deed to say well. And yet words are no deeds. My father loved you. He said he did, and with his deed did crown his word upon you. Since I had my office, I have kept you next to my heart, have not alone employed you where high profits might come home, but pared my present havings to bestow my bounties on you.
What should this mean?
Have I not made you the prime man of the state? I pray you, tell me, if what I now pronounce you have found true, and if you may confess it, say withal, if you are bound to us, or no. What say you?
My sovereign, I confess your royal graces showered on me daily have been more than could my studied purposes require. Mine own ends have been mine, so that evermore they pointed to the good of your most sacred person and the profit of the state. For your great graces heaped upon me, poor undeserver, I can nothing render but allegiant thanks. My prayers to heaven for you, my loyalty, which ever has and ever shall be growing till death, that winter kill it.
'Tis nobly spoken. Take notice, lords, he has a loyal breast, for you have seen him open it. Now read all this, and after this, and then to breakfast with what appetite you have.
What should this mean? What sudden anger's this? How have I reaped it? He parted frowning from me, as if ruin leaped from his eyes. So looks the chief lion upon the daring huntsman that has galled him, then makes him nothing. I must read this paper. I fear the story of his anger. The paper has undone me. 'Tis the account of all that world of wealth I have drawn together for mine own ends. Indeed, to gain the popedom and feed my friends in Rome. Negligence! Fit for a fool to fall by what cross devil made me put this mean secret into packet? I sent the king. Is there no way to cure this? I have touched the high point of all my greatness. From that full meridian of my glory, I haste now to my setting. I shall fall like a bright exhalation in the evening, and no man see me more.
Hear the king's pleasure, Cardinal, who commands you to render up the great seal presently into our hands, and to confine yourself to Asher House, my Lord of Winchester's, till you hear further from his highness.
Stay! Where's your commission, lady? Words cannot carry authority so weighty.
Who dare cross him, bearing the king's will from his mouth expressly?
Till I find more than will words to do it, I mean your malice. No, officious lady, I dare and must deny it. That seal you ask for, with such a violence, the king, mine and your master, with his own hand gave me, bade me enjoy it with the place and honour during my life, and to confirm his goodness, tied it by letters patent. Now, who'll take it?
The king that gave it.
No, it must be he himself, then.
Ah, thou art a proud traitor, priest.
Proud, Lady, thou liest. I dare your worst objections. If I blush, it is to see a noble woman want manners.
I had rather want those than my head. For your stubborn answer about the giving back the Great Seal to us, the king shall know it, and no doubt shall thank you for it. So fare ye well, my good little cardinal.
So farewell to the little good you bear me. Farewell. Long farewell to all my greatness. This is the state of man, and today he puts forth the tender leaves of hopes. Tomorrow blossoms and bears his blushing honours thick upon him. The third day comes a frost, a killing frost. And when he thinks, good, easy man, full, surely this greatness is a ripening, nips his root. And then he falls, as I do. And when he falls falls like Lucifer, never to hope again.
How now, my lord? You desire to know wherefore I sent you.
It is my duty to attend your highness' pleasure.
Pray arise, my good and gracious Lord of Canterbury. Come, you and I must walk a turn together. I have news to tell you. Come, give me your hand. My good lord, I grieve at what I speak, and am right sorry to repeat what follows. I have, and most unwillingly of late, heard many grievous, I do say, my lord, grievous complaints of you, which being considered have moved us and our council that you shall this morning come before us, where I know you cannot with such freedom purge yourself, but that till further trial in those charges which will require your answer, you must take your patience to you, and be well contented to make your house our tower. You, a brother of us, it fits we thus proceed, or else no witness would come against you.
I humbly thank your highness, and am right glad to catch this royal occasion most thoroughly to be winnowed, where my chaff and corn shall fly asunder, for I know there's none stands under more calumnious tongues than I myself. Poor man.
Stand up, good Canterbury. Thy truth and thy integrity is rooted in us, thy friend. Give me thy hand, stand up. Prithee, let's walk. Now, by my halidom, what manner of man are you? My lord, I looked you would have given me your petition that I should have ta'en some pains to bring together yourself and your accusers, and to have heard you without endurance further.
Most dread liege, the good I stand on is my truth and honesty. If they shall fail, I, with mine enemies, will triumph o'er my person, which I weigh not being of those virtues vacant. I fear nothing what can be said against me.
Know you not how your state stands in the world, within the whole world? Your enemies are many, and not small. Their practices must bear the same proportion, and not ever the justice and the truth of the question carries the due or the verdict with it. At what ease might corrupt minds procure knaves as corrupt to swear against you? Such things have been done. You are potently opposed, and with a malice of as great size. We knew of better luck. I mean in perjured witness than your master whose minister you are, whilst here he lived upon this naughty earth. Go to, you take a precipice for no leap of danger, and woo your own destruction.
God and your majesty protect mine innocence, or I fall into the trap is laid for me.
Be of good cheer. They shall no more prevail than we give way to. Keep comfort to you, and this morning see you do appear before them. If they shall chance in charge you with the matters to commit you, the best persuasions to the contrary fail not to use, and with that vehemency the occasion shall instruct you. If entreaties will render you no remedy, this ring deliver them, and your appeal to us there makes before them. Look, the good man weeps. He's honest. On mine honour, God's blessed mother, I swear he is true-hearted, a soul none better in my kingdom. Get you gone, and do as I have bid you.
How does your grace?
Oh, Griffith, sick to death. Oh, my legs are like loden branches and bow to the earth, willing to leave their burden. Oh, reach a chair. Oh. Oh. So now, methinks, I feel a little ease. Oh, didst thou not tell me, Griffith, as thou leddest me, that the great child of honour, Cardinal Wolsey, was dead?
Yes, madam, but I think your grace, out of the pain you suffered, gave no ear to it.
Prithee, good Griffith, tell me how he died. If well, he stepped before me, happily for my example.
Well, the voice goes, madam, for after the stout Earl Northumberland arrested him at York and brought him forward as a man sorely tainted, to his answer he fell sick suddenly.
Alas, poor man.
So went to bed, where eagerly his sickness pursued him still, and 3 nights after this, about the hour of 8, which he himself foretold should be his last, full of repentance, continual meditations, tears and sorrows, he gave his honours to the world again, his blessed part to heaven, and slept in peace.
So may he rest. His faults lie gently upon him. Yet thus far, Griffith, give me leave to speak him, and yet with charity. He was a man of an unbounded stomach, ever ranking himself with princes, one that by suggestion tied all the kingdom. Simony was fair play. His own opinion was his law. In the presence he would say untruths, and be ever double, both in his words and meaning. He was never but where he meant to ruin, pitiful. His promises were, as he then was, mighty, but his performance, as he is now, nothing.
Men's evil manners live in brass. Their virtues we write in water.
What more?
Cranmer is returned with welcome, installed Lord Archbishop of Canterbury.
That's news indeed.
Last, that Lady Anne, whom the king hath in secrecy long married, this day was viewed in open as his queen going to chapel, and the voice is now only about her coronation.
Be near me still, and set me lower. I have not long to trouble thee. Good Griffith, cause the musicians play me that sad note I named my knell, whilst I sit meditating on that celestial harmony I go to.
Katharine's vision. Enter, solemnly tripping one after another, 6 personages, clad in white robes, wearing on their heads garlands of bays, and golden vizards on their faces, branches of bays or palm in their hands. They first conjure unto her, and dance, and at certain changes, the first 2 hold a spare garland over her head, at which the other 4 make reverent curtsies. Then the 2 that held the garland deliver the same to the other next 2, who observe the same order in their changes, and holding the garland over her head, which done, they deliver the same garland to the last 2, who likewise observe the same order, at which, as it were by inspiration, she makes in her sleep signs of rejoicing, and holdeth up her hands to heaven, and so in their dancing vanish, carrying the garland with them.
Spirits of peace, where are ye? Are ye gone? And leave me here in wretchedness behind ye?
Madam, I am here.
Oh, it is not you I call for. Saw ye none enter since I slept?
None, madam.
Ah, no. Saw you not, even now, a blessed troop invite me to a banquet, whose bright faces cast 1,000 beams upon me like the sun? They promised me eternal happiness and brought me garlands. Griffith, I feel I'm not worthy yet to wear. Yes, I shall, assuredly.
I am most joyful, madam. Such good dreams possess your fancy.
Oh, bid the music cease. It is harsh and heavy to me. Oh, my lord, the times and titles now have altered strangely with me since first you knew me. But I pray you, what is your pleasure with me?
First, mine own service to your grace. The next, the king's request that I would visit you. He grieves much for your weakness, and by me sends you his princely commendations, and heartily entreats you take good comfort.
Oh, my good lord, that comfort comes too late. But 'tis like a pardon after execution. That gentle physic given in time had cured me, but now I am past any comforts here but prayers. How does His Highness?
Madam, in good health.
So may he ever do, and ever flourish when I shall dwell with worms, and my poor name banished the kingdom. Sir, I most humbly pray you to deliver this to my lord the king.
Most willingly, madam.
In which I've commended to his goodness the model of our chaste loves, our daughter Mary. The dews of heaven fall thick in blessings on her, beseeching him to give her a virtuous breeding. She is young and of a noble, modest nature. I hope she will deserve well, and a little to love Mary for her mother's sake, that loved him heaven knows how dearly. My next poor petition is that his noble grace would have some pity upon my wretched women, that so long have followed both my fortunes faithfully. The last is for my men. They are the poorest, but poverty could never draw them from me, that they may have their wages duly paid them, and something over to remember me by. Stand these poor people's friend, and urge the king to do me this last right.
By heaven I will, or let me lose the fashion of a man.
I thank you. Remember me in all humility unto his highness. Say his long trouble now is passing out of this world. Tell him in death I blessed him, for so I will. Oh, mine eyes grow dim. Oh, farewell, my lord Griffith, farewell. When I am dead, let me be used with honour. Strew me over with maiden flowers, that all the world may know I was a chaste wife to my grave. Embalm me, then lay me forth, although unqueened, yet like a queen and daughter to a king. Inter me. I can say no more.
A royal train. Believe me, these I know. Who's that bears the sceptre? Marquess Dorset and the Earl of Surrey with the rod, a brave, bold gentleman. That should be the Duke of Suffolk, and that, my Lord Norfolk. I take it she that carries the train is that old noble lady, Duchess of Norfolk. It is. And all the rest are countesses. Their coronets say so. These are stars indeed, and sometimes falling ones.
Heaven, from thy endless goodness, send prosperous life, long and ever happy, to the high and mighty Princess of England, Elizabeth. And to your royal grace and the good queen, my noble partners and myself, thus pray. All comfort, joy in this most gracious lady, heaven ever laid up to make parents happy, may hourly fall upon ye.
Thank you, good Lord Archbishop. What is her name?
Elizabeth.
Stand up, Lord. With this kiss, take my blessing. God protect thee, into whose hand I give thy life.
Amen. Let me speak, sir, for heaven now bids me, and the words I utter, let none think flattery, for they'll find 'em truth. This royal infant, heaven still move about her, though in her cradle, yet now promises upon this land 1,000 blessings, which time shall bring to ripeness. She shall be a pattern to all princes living with her, and all that shall succeed. She shall be loved and feared. Her own shall bless her. Her foes shake like a field of beaten corn and hang their heads in sorrow. Good grows with her. In her days, every man shall eat in safety under his own vine what he plants, and sing the merry songs of peace to all his neighbours. Nor shall this peace sleep with her, but as when the bird of wonder dies, the maiden phoenix, her ashes new create another air, as great in admiration as herself. Wherever the brethren shall shine, his honour and the greatness of his name shall be, and make new nations. He shall flourish, and like a mountain cedar reach his branches to all the plains about him. Our children's children shall see this and bless heaven.
Thou speakest wonders.
She shall be to the happiness of England an aged princess. Many days shall see her, and yet no day without a deed to crown it. Would I had known no more, but she must die. She must, the heavens must have her. Yet a virgin, a most unspotted lily shall she pass to the ground, and all the world shall mourn her.
Lord Archbishop, thou hast made me now a man. Never before this happy child did I get anything. This oracle of comfort has so pleased me that when I am in heaven I shall desire to see what this child does and praise my Maker. I thank ye all. Lead the way, lords. Ye must all see the Queen Anne, and she must thank ye. She will be sick else. This day no man think has business at his house, for all shall stay. This little one shall make it holiday.
'Tis 10 to 1, this play can never please all that are here.
Some come to take their rooms and sleep an act or two.
Those we fear we have frighted with our trumpet so, 'tis clear they'll say 'tis naught.
Others to hear the city abused extremely and to cry, "That's witty," which we've not done neither.
That, I fear, all the expected good we're like to hear. For this play, at this time,
is only in the merciful construction of good women. For such a one we showed 'em.
If they smile and say 'twill do, I know within a while all the best men are ours. For 'tis ill hap if they hold when their ladies bid 'em clap.